观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看精彩时局。我们继续欣赏2021年GSL 第一赛季半决赛，马路与 Trap 之间的对抗。第一局呢是 Trap 1比0领先，双方要打7局4胜制。
Spiraled Maru's entire game out of control, and from there, all Trap did was be patient, produce, push, and then pull away when he thought this isn't absolutely in my favor. We're going to go now into map 2. It's on Oxide. Right now, Trap with a 1-0 lead.
2021 GSL Season 1.
好，比赛开始了。第二局的比赛地图是绣画山巅，右上角蓝色的人族是马路，左下角红色的神族是 Trap。这 Trap 感觉长得是挺帅的感觉。
I think Maru had a very strong plan, which actually was in good shape after he
他的
scouted what
探
Trap
击
was up to.
也是在自
But
己
then
的
Trap like
周围
reacted very, very well. I think the Adept Shaden was a
侦
little
查
bit， sloppy,
看
it
看
was a
有没
little
有
greedy, but
野
other
兵
than
营
that,
什么
I
的
think。he played very well. Like, it was all more reactionary, whereas Maru had more of a straight up plan of like, this is what I'm going to do and this is why it's strong, right? And then Trap definitely what turned the game into Trap's favor, because I think it actually was Maru favored until the stasis wards were the stasis wards. And it actually reminds me of
放下了 BY，
this conversation I had like 12 or 13 years ago when I first moved out here. I was sitting on the couch in the Easter house talking with the coaches with the help of a translator, and like we were watching a Jadon game on TV, right, the greatest Zerg ever in StarCraft 1. The coach was saying, oh gosh, in this situation, like you have to do this, this, and this as Jadon to have a chance in this game. And Jadon did those 3 things plus one thing the coaches didn't think of, and they were like,
一个枪兵在
he does that
自己的基地周围也是在找各种野建筑什么的，双方的侦查都是很到位的。
I really like what you said there. That's so true. It's like Trap might have won that without all those stasis wards, but he's every little bit that he can put in to make it more complicated and more difficult. Trap beats literally 99.99% of all Terran players easily, but you add in that stasis ward and then you beat Maru.
Yeah,
and then you win a GSL Codex potentially.
Maru, with the same build orders against other players, probably would have beaten pretty much everyone. Like it was beautiful. Those stasis wards were well placed. Like he had this storm.
神族的机械台呢是照
it's kind of like in his style at the moment.
OB 能技不朽巨像，这兵 OB 呢是个侦察单位，以前叫小叮当，习惯叫。它本身是隐形的，并且可以去侦察。 马路家里是放了3个兵营，也是开了2矿。
our teams together, I should say anymore. I think this is why Maru can try this. First of all, you've seen Beyond do this. It doesn't always work when Beyond does it. And he's kind of like the guy who's known for this, right?
In fact, most of the time it doesn't work, and we're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Beyond's 2-base stuff backfires maybe a little bit under half the time. He's very good at it, but this is sort of his style.
马路的一队枪兵是站在这个2矿的路口啊，守着路口。 排成一排，好，这个探击过来，马上就被干掉了。这个进不去侦查，所以这个可以看出这个职业的这个站位啊，这个意思。Trap 现在出了一个人进，马上过来人族家里，要开始搞事了。
Oh my god.
一个使徒被掐兵抓住了啊，杀掉了。能进展开刷了3个引刀，一把雷达，杀了几个枪兵，能进马上收起。 继续放下引刀，但是马路马上造防空啊，又刷了一把雷达，2把雷达能量基本上就刷完了。家里的话，现在马路在进攻 trap， 但是 trap 造了一个引刀在防守。马路的防空已经好了，这个引刀现在不太好施展。 但是还是杀了几个枪兵跟农民过来，3个引刀没有死，1个都没死。这一把 trap 的操作还是相当好。放下引刀就刷一个引刀，那么4个引刀和2个白球。马路的防空起来之后，我的引刀就马上和白球，所以一点都不亏。 这一把开局 trap 的操作有点好，引刀没死，杀了对方的农民枪兵，而且立马又变白球，装了2个白球，这冷静继续过来搞事，放下白球，这是白球是收放自如啊，就把这个，因为把这个。 白球一收一放，它导致人族的进攻就是目标不停的变化，这样的话把这个伤害平均化，这部队这个现在因为白球被打爆一个，因为棱镜本身也残血了，所以没那么好施展。棱镜在前期，特别是这个神族是非常重要。 包括展开能量场刷兵，还有收放这个部队，因为神族的这个白球啊、机械那个不朽啊什么都是移动是比较慢的，没有机动性都是要靠棱镜来收放来实现部队的机动化。现在神族2个不朽，3个哨兵。 还有白球已经攻到人族的家门口了。马路这边呢是部队主要是枪兵跟光头，配合运输机。神族这个2个不朽配合棱镜，在人族家里拆房子。 马路也是两架运输机装了枪兵过来追赶防守。这个棱镜看着只有一点点血，但是还是操作的挺好。那棱镜的作用就是把这个残血的部队收起来放到后排，这样不停的变换目标，导致这个受的伤害就是平均化，这个部队的生存就是时间大大增长。刷了一波叉子，神族的都是硬兵啊，叉子、白球、不朽啊，配合着闪电，高效的范围输出。这个闪电这个范围输出对付这种枪兵这种低血量的部队是非常有效。现在棱镜又装了几个叉子过来杀农民。一个剪发过来抓棱镜，但是马上回城，棱镜没死。现在马路是带着2个坦克，配合大队的枪兵，还有一个解放过来进攻。 但是神族的叉子顶在前面，一把闪电，2把闪电，坦克被这个不朽和叉子马上就打掉了。这个闪电把枪兵也是非常的快，所以这个进攻没有效果，自己损失大半。马路这波有点亏呀。
And it doesn't feel like it's going to get better because there's just going to be more side storms. That's the main thing that Trap is doing. And he's about to have Blink. His +2 is going to be finishing up. We don't see any upgrades going for Maru. He's kind of on a 2-base
双方的部队其实人口都是咬得很紧的。
There's no way for him really to transition. Like some people at home might be sitting there.
但神族的兵感觉质量更高一些，就是枪兵在这个叉子近身然后被电的情况下太容易死了。好，现在马路的2个解放过来杀农民，你看他架的位置是比较靠边的，这样，但是 Trap 马上刷了追猎防守，解放逃走了。他架的位置这么靠边，是不是为了便于逃走呢？这个我估计是这样。平常解放应该，如果架的更里面，就杀农民应该更快一点。但是我看他架的特别靠边，只有一点点边缘。杀到农民。现在马路的枪兵光头又过来了，但是闪电电得非常疼啊，3把4把，把这个瞬间这个部队就一半都没掉了。神族的兵太硬了，又配合闪电，这个枪兵光头感觉又是被克制的。马路认输了。这一局我就感觉这个部队的构成上面就神族就玩克这个人族啊，这个枪兵光头你被闪电一打，再被这个前排的叉子一扎，坦克的话被这不朽又可以马上给秒掉，这样的话。这个感觉是每次正面交锋都是神族大优势的情况下打赢的，根本这个感觉是人族的这部队没什么抵抗的机会。这可以看出，这个神族啊，这部队让他成型之后是非常难打的。打神族，我觉得部队就不能让他成型，就是靠前期的空投各种骚扰，要抢先进攻才行。让他成型之后，这个部队构成完善之后，你枪兵前排有这个叉子什么白球顶起来之后，感觉非常难打。好，我们接着欣赏比赛。前面是 Trap 2-0领先。第3局地图是紫金浪漫。地图左下右下红色的是 Trap。左上蓝色的是马路。他的兵役是照在家里附近，不是照在家里。那他既不是说针对性的野兵营，但是呢，他这个兵营又是照在外面的。 这个他的意图就是给这个对面造成一种错觉，一种野兵营速攻的错觉。但其实他的兵营还是在家的附近，是个假的野兵营。
Like Trap's literally not even scouting.
Yeah, this is this is kind of funny because
Trap
he's got this really cool idea, but you need your opponent to engage with you in order for it to even start to be a factor. And so I don't know, depending on when Trap scouts, if this is even going to have any utility at all, or if we're just going to have a barracks and a factory behind the middle.
Yeah, that's
which could happen.
It looks like it probably will, and this is something like Maru wanted a reaction out of this, and you know there's a certain percentage chance that would occur if he got scouted, but then he doesn't get scouted, so there's like not even the chance of Trap being even minorly stressed in that situation, you know?
Yeah, well, Trap will just play normally, and essentially that's what Maru's doing anyway. So
yeah, in a way, yeah, it's just with weird locations.
So the factory's been swapped on over here.
重工跟这个兵营互换位置，那因为人族的这个兵工厂啊，它都需要附带挂件的。有个双倍生产的挂件呢，是都可以共用，包括科技挂件也是共用。所以它这样就省得重新建造挂件的时间与资源，直接把这个重工跟兵营互换一下。重工挂上双倍挂件的话，造这个火车。前期的火车主要就是骚扰的作用，因为它这个行动非常敏捷，而且烧农民也很快。
He said in the interview.
It's so funny.
There's a tech lab. So that's a tech lab right next to the factory.
人族一个很重要的特点，它就是它的单位是可以用农民来修理的，很快就可以恢复血量。这个就是资源跟操作换得了部队的这个血量。那虫族呢？它是部队自动回血，但是呢比较慢，有的快，有的慢，总体来讲还不算快。飞龙和蟑螂稍微快一点。神族呢，它的部队主要是有个护盾，它是通过用电池来回复护盾，来延长部队的血量。现在人族的3个火车已经到Trap 的家里了，过来烧农民。Trap 是个追猎在防守，烧了是不是有10来个感觉？但是烧了不少啊。现在人族的一架运输机投地雷了过来。投地雷杀农民。但是Trap的防守也是很到位的。
Yeah, he knew perfectly how to handle this. So, to what I was saying earlier, keep in mind that the Terrans trading Widow Mines and sometimes Medevacs, and this doesn't feed into how big the Terrans army is going to be later on. These are units that are sacrificed to economically punish the Protoss so the Terran can get ahead in other ways. But if you shut down enough Widow Mines that don't do any damage and kill off enough Medevacs, they don't get away, Protoss has some potential for a counterattack here or to take a fight in the middle of the map. And there's not a lot Terran can do about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Trap 的追猎是前压，去抓这个过来骚扰的火车。现在个女妖战机过来了，人族的女妖战机它是只能对地，但是可以隐形。
But yeah, it's something that he's very comfortable with compared to other Terrans. He really knows how to utilize a strategy like this.
He can blink up here, avoid the bunker, and I mean, I see a tank.
现在是一个神族一个小叮当过来开视野追猎闪，可以闪上去，直接跳到人族的家里，秒掉一个坦克。这个追猎研究了这个。Blink 就是个闪现技能之后呢，它就是可以瞬移。 而且可以不受这个高度差的限制，可以跳这个悬崖。因为星际争霸里这个地形是有高度的概念，就是说它大概常见就是2层。那从第1层掉到第2层的话，这个有个高度差。那普通的部队是上不去的，但是纠电如果有闪现技能，就可以直接从这个2层之间跳跃。但是需要视野才能跳，所以需要一个小叮当去开视野。
Yeah, well, also he can always blink back in later on. I mean, that was very nicely done. We're seeing an extremely small number of stalkers do quite a bit of damage. Behind this, Trap is teching into a disruptor, teching into a Templar Archives, and appears to be setting up for a pretty safe position on 3 bases to Terrans 2.
阻碍呢？神族的话，追猎可以跳，然后。这个巨象可以跨越障碍，直接跨上去。人族呢有这个死神，也可以跳跃，因为他带了那个喷火的背包，可以直接跳过这个悬崖。虫族的话，只能是通过虫洞。来部队的传送来实现这个偷袭。好，现在一大队追猎过来瞄坦克，无视这个碉堡和那个枪兵。现在人族的这女妖过来打农民，但是也没什么好的效果。残血被逃走了。一点点，只剩一点点，就极限了。职业选手的操作很多时候看着非常极限，他的血量就只剩1-2点的时候被逃走。他们的手感就是长年累月的训练，就把这个血量发挥到极致的。好，现在这个是神族出了这个自爆球，自爆球炸部队也是一个范围伤害，上限非常强的。自爆球是推出去是持续2秒时间，2秒时间过了它就自己消失了。
Pretty good attack over here on the Terran's third base.
Disruptors are cheap too, so it's like just to see him not continue to make them. I'm like, what? You don't want 2? He's like, no, you idiot! It's 1. You get 1, you fool! I'm like, wait a minute, aren't disruptors amazing?
Well, I like the setup too. He has just stalkers up front to make it look like it's one of those standard stalker harass armies that's to catch stuff. And of course, Terran tries to chase that away, and then it feeds into the situation where, as the stalkers are retreating. Through that, a disruptor shot is coming, connects with enough targets because they can't all get into the medevacs, and chunks out a decent amount of the Terran army. And now, I'm a little bit worried here. I mean, I think Protoss basically has better stuff, to be frank. Takes out both medevacs. Terran's going to be left with just Marines before he loses this game. Yeah, you're a Banshee and a tank, a medevac. You're not going to be in this game in the later part here.
哦，闪电2把、3把、4把。已经被防线已经被打破了。4个白球。
Pick one. Pick one. A Marauder and a Marine, or a Medevac and a Marine. You'll never have more than that, and God forbid you make a tank.
Can't keep those
alive. That's the first thing I pick off.
Yeah.
And now Trap is on a 5th base. This should be unwinnable for Terran. Even if Terran holds this off somehow and tries to make another command center, there's just no recovery.
还是逃走了。也是极限操作胜利队选，但是马路还是认输了。这一局也是 Trap 跟上一盘比赛的组合差不多，这次多了个自爆球。这个部队冲过来，人族就是枪兵、光头、坦克，还是扛不住啊。 主要是这个成型之后，马路这边没有什么好的对策。Trap 对部队一旦成型，没有好对策。这样 Trap 在前面已经是3比0领先马路啊，那总共是7盘比赛，现在已经是到赛点了，接下来只要再赢1盘比赛，就拿下这个整个比赛。Trap 现在可以说是手握着4个赛点，接下来4盘比赛只要赢1盘就够了，局面是非常的好。这大概赛前应该没有人会想到，上来就会打成这样的局面，完全是一边倒啊，每盘都被神族给压制住了，3比0领先。